The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. From the rising dangers of fentanyl to educators who also moonlight in the music business. We're going in depth with those conversations tonight. But first, we turn to changes in the workplace. According to reports, it's been hard to hit the reverse button on remote work. More than 30% of the work was done remotely in the U.S. That number is 6 times higher than it was before it became an option during the pandemic. And it also is costing major cities big time. The decision to work from home is reportedly costing $4,000 per person every year. I asked Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld why mainly young people aren't jumping at the chance to return to work in person. And Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld from the University of Houston downtown is here with us on The Factor Uncensored. Dr. von Biedenfeld, there was a time when people would tell me before the pandemic, I work from home, and I would think to myself, unemployed. But it's a real thing. And we're seeing remote working become bigger and bigger even after the pandemic, and people are refusing to go back to work who can, right? And what are the reasons they're giving?
It depends, but the main reason is you've got an increasing number of younger workers who are flexing their might. We've moved past unions and pensions in a lot of ways, but human psychology hasn't changed that much. We are looking out for ourselves. And these folks say, why am I driving an hour, 2 hours, fighting all these transplant drivers? If you drive in Houston, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, all these plates you see on the road, and you're fighting all these folks on the road just to do what you've demonstrated you can do for the past 2 years. So they're saying, I can do the work. You're not adding any incentives. I'm saving money and better managing my work-life balance, which is a hot new term, right? Maybe the boomers and the silent generation would be like, work-life balance, live to work.
That's me. That's totally me.
Right? But the Gen Zers are saying, no, I work to provide travel money so I can do more Instagram content, right? We're all digital creators now. So a lot of these folks are looking at that. And then in the higher concentrations of these remote work pushbacks are in these more liberal areas and more concentrated urban environments where people are still concerned about the pandemic, right? They don't want
cities like New York, Washington, D.C., Houston.
Yes, sir. And in New York or Washington, D.C., they say, I don't want to cram onto a subway with all these unknown people, particularly with certain crime rates rising in these downtown areas. Recession fears are looming for a lot of folks. And so they say, well, I want to keep my job, but I'm demonstrating it, and I don't want to get on a crowded sardine can with a bunch of people coughing and sneezing and not wearing masks. People I don't know. We're not proving our vaccination status as much anymore. And so people have that uncertainty. There's still a lot of residual fear, that health concern, and folks are still getting COVID.
And one important message or point you brought up, you said compared to the old unions, but young people now are strong as the unions in their resolve, in what they want to do on the job, and they're willing to walk off and quit. You know, so many of them don't even need a union. They're just as powerful. This new generation, they're just as powerful as a union in their jobs.
There's power and transparency. And so there's a lot more openness about pay, benefits. Hey, what did you earn? Now, if you asked me 10 years ago what salary I made, first of all, I'd be embarrassed because I've been in government that long. Second of all, you just don't talk about those things. Religion, politics, your salary, what you do at home, those are private. Well, people are a lot more open. People are open about their sexuality. Same way they're open about their pay, they're open about their benefits, and they don't want to hear that somebody else gets to work from home doing a similar role at XYZ company when at ABC company, they're being asked to return to the office for no discernible reason other than the commercial space is already being paid for and their boss needs to have some friends, right? I need to see.
Let's hang out, guys.
Right.
We're not hanging out with you, old ass man.
Right. So that social media is giving them strength, that transparency is giving them strength. And a lot of these folks have, at least in terms of roommates and things of that nature, have found cost-saving measures that older generations just wouldn't dream of. At 25, you had your house. 27, you were married. Now, younger generations are saying, oh, I'm okay having 4 roommates because if I'm living right, I'm either in Reykjavik this week or I'm out on the town on Saturday, I only use the place to store my bed so I can sleep, and occasionally have a home call from my parents to let them know that I'm okay and they can keep sending me money to direct deposit.
And how many young people, and what are the numbers, the statistics, the number of people staying home or working remotely and refusing to go back to the office?
It gets tricky, but we're seeing at least 6 times the 2019 numbers. So that at least 6 times the pre-COVID numbers, and that's in the hundreds of thousands. It gets a little tricky as far as, are people reporting FMLA reasons? Are they reporting comorbidities so that they get more leniency? Just like when you see a handicap placard, right? Does the person have some knee damage that you can't quite see? Or are they perfectly able and just borrowing somebody else's car and parking easily? So we don't have the perfect statistics on this, but it is a considerable number in the hundreds of thousands of people saying we are pushing back on returning to work. And of course, employers don't want to reveal that information because that just adds to that transparency and weight where folks say, hey, I'm not the only one saying this is ridiculous. I'm not the only one saying, hey, save on the commercial space. Pull an Elon Musk and don't pay the rent this week in San Francisco, and I will work from home. I'll use my own toilet. I'll use my own internet. I'll use my own refrigerator.
And Professor, are threats like the one we heard from Elon Musk working in this day and age with these workers, where he's saying either return to the office or you're fired?
In the short term, they do because people want to commit. But again, during that entire time that they're away from the office, and maybe quite a bit of that time that they're supposed to be generating profits for your company, those employees are saying, you're not looking out for me. I'm not looking out for you. You've breached this contract. You've breached good faith. I'm going to spend this time looking for another job. And it might take 2 months for them to find another job, but depending on the skill set, they may be out in a week. And the new generation doesn't really care if you've treated them badly about giving you 2 weeks notice. They are very happy to treat you the way that they've seen employers treat their coworkers and hand you a box of things with that same day.
And of course, we're just getting started tonight. Don't go anywhere. We will continue this conversation and how it may impact you next. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We continue our conversation about remote work and its impact on the traditional workplace. Working from home can be very convenient for some employees, but that alternative can also be a hit to an employer's budget. Here's Dr. Dietrich von Bietenfeld.
Now, let's talk about the trickle-down or the trickle-up effect on this, because we're hearing that companies, corporate America, even municipalities are losing billions of dollars because people are working remotely. How does that work? Obviously, if someone is staying home, then get rid of some of the office space. But it's not that simple, right?
Absolutely. And we know that there are taxes that are levied for people doing things, but a lot of the economic development growth is chartered in folks eating at local restaurants and local office spaces. So you might not eat at the local deli in close to your office. You wouldn't drive downtown for that, right? It's a sandwich. You can make it at home. So businesses are losing out on that revenue, which then in turn results in closures or reduced sales tax revenue. But also for those commuting cities, you're losing out on the transit passes. People don't need to re-up their passes, which covers the maintenance. So even though there shouldn't be as much maintenance for roads in Houston or Austin if there are fewer drivers, for the rails run regardless. If there's one person, if there's 500 people, the rails will run and use that space. And transit authorities rely on those ticket fares for those fees. So you've lost the restaurant revenue, you've lost some of the commercial expenditures for suits and shoes. We're just not putting the miles on our Skechers like we used to, or Johnson & Murphy's or whatever. And so those are some major facets.
And for employers, how are they losing money if a worker who chooses to stay home and work remotely, how are they losing money as a result of that worker not coming into the building?
Well, you know, as a millennial, I'm going to say they're saving money, at least again, because I'm not using their toilet paper. I'm not copying my church fish fry documents on the office copier, having to do that on my home printer. And there's a sunken cost if they gave me an extra monitor or some tools to go home. But there is an expense for employers to maintain those remote servers and secure them, as opposed to one central or consolidated security and internet node. There's a lot more expense as far as wasted expense, right? Unused. We're paying for these parking passes and no one's using them. We're paying for these contracts for vending machines and the food is spoiling in the vending machines. So there are those expenses where companies have anticipated expenditures that they're now just wasting. Things are going to waste. But also, of course, the security concerns. You know, employees are taking sensitive data home in flash drives, and maybe your car gets broken into and somebody steals it. I won't pick on HPD about that, but there, those things come into play where employers are having to invest in additional legal expenses as well. Because
I know now that you say that, that gives me my mind to thinking and jogging, where when we were during the heavy time during COVID, many of us here at Fox, all of the news anchors and myself included, we had studios at home, essentially, cameras, live microwaves or live units where we could shoot all of this stuff back to the station. And then many of us still have it at home just in case something goes wrong. So that is a huge expense if each news anchor has its own studio and cameras and live units at home.
Yeah, and some companies bought it, in which case, great, now you've got a backup plan. That's part of your corporate resiliency. But many companies lease these things because cars, computers, and other forms of technology, the obsolescence rate, they go out of date so quickly that you just can't justify buying them. So better to lease them. So they're still paying those lease agreements and software licensing agreements, those additional fees that they could stop paying and return the equipment and reduce those licenses if they did that. But again, working from home, there are those extra legal costs because you're working from home. What about an on-the-job injury? So we've got a lot of uncertainty, and it's a lot easier for corporate legal to say, you know, if you trip and hit your head at the office, that's one thing and we understand it. If you trip over your cat on the way to the kitchen, but you're on company time, what is the compensation rate for that?
And welcome back. Now, as we mentioned earlier, the number of people working from home is higher than ever. I asked Dr. Dietrich von Bietenfeld how companies can convince their employees to return in person. The answer is a bit complicated, so take a listen.
What would you recommend to employers out there to get these young workers who say, to hell with it, I'm not coming back?
Well, I definitely wouldn't throw down the gauntlet because with so many remote work positions still available and the economy still churning along pretty well for at least the next 6 months, you're going to lose those workers. Now, they may come crawling back if things go sideways, but you're not going to have that productivity, talent, and experience in-house if you throw down the gauntlet. You can sweeten the pot by offering toll fare reimbursements and mileage reimbursements and other incentives to say, okay, we recognize that you were saving money at home. We'll give you your salary plus some commute benefits. We'll give you a little bit more leeway on your PTO, maybe a few extra hours of PTO. But I would even suggest that companies actually identify their strategies. Some places that have cubicles shouldn't have cubicles. They should have offices. People are having confidential conversations and their productivity was better at home because they were able to have those conversations privately and not be distracted by the coworker right 6 inches away from them having a different conversation. So the productivity might have gone up. So think about your actual business model. But the easiest thing is show the compensation for that extra time and commute and justify it. Say, hey, you know what? We're not going to return to work 5 days a week. We're going to return to work 3 days a week because that's when we strategize. That's when we have our business meetings and everybody can get all of the same information at one time, uniformly, et cetera. But making people come 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, most jobs cannot justify that.
All right. Dr. Dietrich von Bietenfeld from the University of Houston downtown, who I am talking to remotely. Zoom is the best thing since COVID. We want to thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. Good to see you, sir.